2,300 firms from over 50 countries, including companies with new models from China, were on display at the Paris Air Show. China's homegrown aircraft drew the admiration of spectators. Also on the show were civilian aircraft, warplanes, drones and military hardware from other countries. A China-developed stealth fighter stole the spotlight. The multifunctional fighter Shenyang J-31 has been independently designed by China to meet the needs of future warfare. The plane is hard to be detected by radar and emits low infrared radiation. The fighter also performs well in electric countermeasure activities and can fly in complicated weather conditions. Aside from the Shenyang J-31, China is also present at the air show. The drone features sophisticated technology that can perform both combat and reconnaissance missions. Chinese civil and aviation industry also grabbed abundant attention since its first indigenous large passenger jet C919 made its maiden flight last month. The Paris Air Show has launched an innovative air lab for both professionals and the general public. The lab reveals a host of the most recent products and technologies by both industrial giants and startups. The Paris Air Show is one of the world's biggest and most prestigious expos for the aviation industry. The biennial event was first held in 1909.
If Nigeria's aviation business is to thrive and fulfill its potential, there is need for government intervention, and the airlines themselves may have to rejig their business model. That's the opinion of the MD of Sita Petroleum. He was speaking at an earlier event in Lagos.
We're losing a lot, even as a country, to other countries in terms of opportunities. Presently today, if you look at the jet fuel market in Nigeria, it's a billion-liter annual market. But of course, we are not able to optimize maybe more than a third of the potential at any one point because of this myriad of problems and challenges. So, but we also believe, like I said, government cannot do it alone. So it has to be some form of partnership between the corporate and the private sector and the government to be able to provide some of these solutions and identify them first and provide solutions, that may be bespoke sometimes, to be able to solve most of these situations.
Another set of 175 Nigerians have voluntarily returned from Libya to Nigeria. The aircraft that conveyed them landed at 7:50 p.m. at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. The returnees, made up of 34 males, 122 females, 10 children and 9 infants were brought home by the International Organization for Migration and the Nigerian Embassy in Libya. The returnees were received at the Hajj camp area of the airport by officers of the Nigerian Immigration Service, the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, and the National Emergency Management Agency.
It is also our advice to members of the public that they should bring to this world the number of children they can cater for. Because when people who cannot take care of more than 3 children, if they have 11 children, the 11 children are vulnerable to being trafficked.
The Director, Search and Rescue of NEMA, Air Commodore Paul Ohemu, said the agency, in collaboration with the IOM, was working to stem irregular migration and return stranded Nigerians from Libya.
There are a lot of things you can do in Nigeria here. You don't have to travel out of this country to make in search of the green fleas, as they will say. My advice to parents is to keep tabs on their children and to ensure that they know where their children are going to, and not be encouraged by some promises that don't exist when you go abroad. Nigeria is a fine country. You can see us. We are all looking very healthy here, and we are really having a great time of our life in Nigeria here.
The U.S. Supreme Court early in the week handed a victory to President Donald Trump by reviving parts of a travel ban on people from 6 Muslim-majority countries that he said is needed for national security, but opponents insist it's discriminatory.
They need to take the security measures because it's not a good time over right now. But still, they can't just ban everybody. They should take some security measures and allow good people to come in and allow to take the bad people out.
The justices narrowed the scope of lower court rulings that had completely blocked key parts of a March 6 executive order that Trump had said was needed to prevent terrorism in the United States, allowing a temporary ban to go into effect for people with no strong ties, such as family or business, to the United States.
You know, the U.S. has always been a role model and a leader that other nations look up to in terms of their acceptance of people and the support that the U.S. provides to people in need. So I think this travel ban really is a symbol for quite the opposite. And I think the U.S. should lead and, admit people, refugees and immigrants, according to our history as well.
As a practicing Muslim American, I can tell you that ISIS does not represent Islam. And so seeing this travel ban and seeing how some people are, advocating for this ban, it's concerning for me.
The court issued its order on the last day of its current term and agreed to hear oral argument during its next term starting in October. Trump's order called for a blanket 90-day ban on people from Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria and Yemen, and a 120-day ban on all refugees, while the government implemented stronger vetting procedures. An AirAsia X flight bound for Kuala Lumpur was forced to turn back to Perth Airport in Australia due to an engine problem which caused the plane to shake for 1.5 hours. According to a statement issued by the airline, AirAsia X is conducting an investigation into the cause of the incident with its engine manufacturer, Rolls-Royce, and local aviation authorities. The Airbus A330 in question is believed to have lost a turbine blade on one of its engines, which caused the plane to rattle, Malaysian media reported. The incident prompted an Australian aviation expert warning Australians to be cautious when booking budget airlines tickets.
That's all we have for you on this edition. And don't forget, we'd like to hear from you. Do send your comments and suggestions to our social media portal. Thanks for watching. I'm Bukola Jo Oketumbi.